Hello, and welcome to Big Muddy Mayhem, the podcast where we talk about true crime and bad behavior throughout the Midwest.
Each week we'll bring you 2 stories from the heartland that might break your heart, but we hope to entertain you along the way.
I'm Tracey Laricha.
And I'm Janet O'Brien. Hello!
Hi there, Janet. How are you?
I'm good.
Oh my gosh. Well, this summer sure has gotten away from us.
I know. I don't know what's going on.
I know. A whole lot. Boy, the world seems to be picking up speed,
Yes.
and everything is faster and faster.
Yes.
But I don't know about you, but I feel like I did get a little bit of a break this week.
That's good.
We got to go on a little road trip with
heard.
Writer's Dad to Cave In Rock and Garden of the Gods and some of those beautiful Southern Illinois stops. And we have some pictures.
Nice.
And how about you? How's your week been?
It's been fine. Not super eventful. I did go to the cabin on Sunday for a little while.
Nice. Good.
I needed a pork steak. Just needed a barbecue pork steak.
That sounds so good, doesn't it?
Yes.
I love a pork steak.
Yeah, if you're not from the Midwest, it's a particular cut.
And you can't really get it anywhere. Everybody,
No.
when they're like, what do you need to eat from St. Louis? I'm like, a pork steak. But here's the thing. You can't go get one at a restaurant. No one cooks St. Louis-style pork steaks at a restaurant. You have to know someone that's having a barbecue.
Right.
Or that loves you very much. And brings you over to eat
Yeah, absolutely.
a little bit of pork steak. So yum.
So we have 2 stories today.
We do have 2 stories today.
And you get to start.
I do have the honor of going first this week. So this one is an early, this is kind of like a small episode for me.
Okay.
But that being said, so good, so interesting.
Cool.
And the details, and then, well, Janet, I will tell you already that I picked this entire story based on a mugshot. And when I show this to you...
Yes.
Also, Muddy Buddies, I know that you guys, this is not a visual medium.
No.
This is one where you're going to want to go to the YouTube page or the Facebook page and see this photo because it is something else.
Okay.
So
enlighten me.
I was going to say, I guess this is where we jump in and get started. And I'm going to talk to you about the story of Laura Bell Devlin.
Okay, Laura Bell Devlin. Don't know her.
Oh, you're about to. Laura Bell. Again, there's not much on her in her early life. She is born in, we think, about 1875.
Okay.
Early on in life, she marries, because that's what she did.
Right, exactly.
Her husband is a man named Tom Devlin.
Okay.
He is an immigrant. He's Irish. He's got a temper, and he's not specifically a very warm or caring man. But they marry, because that's what you do.
Right.
And then they settle in at their home in Newark, Ohio.
Okay.
They live at 78 King Avenue. Today, this is where the local high school
Oh, okay.
is settled. Janet, you know, the holidays,
Yeah, the holidays.
they're tough on everyone.
Yeah, they can be, yes.
They really are. They're kind of tough on everyone. And if you're at a spot where things aren't so great, they can be even worse.
Right.
The Devlins, they're no exception. Perhaps, like us, they might have been the only podcast in the world not sponsored by BetterHelp. If anyone ever needed BetterHelp, it's us. My gosh. Reach out. Somewhere, somehow, towards the end of 1946, Laura and Tom, they're married. They're not getting on so well. They've been married for a while. They are an isolated elderly couple.
Oh, wow. Okay.
they don't have a whole lot of friends or company. Everyone's like, oh yeah, no, they keep to themselves. Janet,
Tracey?
have you ever had a thing where you've got a dinner and you're hungry?
Yes.
And you are just so looking forward to your dinner and your food?
Mm-hmm.
And then the food is wrong.
Oh, yeah.
And you are just irrationally angry and upset.
Because you're hungry. Right?
And it's just like, and there's, look, you could eat this food, but this isn't the food that you wanted.
Right.
Have you ever been like that angry person?
Not really, but I get it.
Oh, I have.
Okay.
I have like cried over soggy fries more times than I probably ought to. You just get irrationally angry and everything is completely blown out of proportion. So, this is Thomas. Like, this is the husband.
Okay.
And he gets so mad that he... Okay, real quick. My story is short, so I'm vamping a little bit here. Way back in the day when, like, little baby Tracey was in her 20s.
Uh-huh.
I wanted nothing more than, like, an egg and toast.
Sure.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
But I was also very bad at making them. And I had, like, one piece of bread left and one egg. And it was Christmas Eve. And I tried to, like, cook an egg and toast. And then something got, like, screwed up that I was, like, messing with other Christmas things. And I'm not proud of this. But there was one Christmas when I got up and I was just so angry that I took my improperly cooked egg and toast and I picked it up, and at like 3:00 in the morning on Christmas morning, because I was the one that was like up trying to finish the gifts and like...
Sure.
I have hurled an egg and toast at a Christmas tree.
Take that!
That's right! So this is Thomas.
Okay.
He gets so mad that he picks up his plate
Oh.
and he hurls it
Oh.
at Laura. Janet.
Tracey.
Janet.
Tracey.
Have you ever just had a moment where you have taken literally all that you can physically take, and then there's something in you that breaks entirely?
Okay.
And then you full on beat your husband to death using only your 72-year-old hands?
What?
And your rage. Keep in mind, this is when women had to do this without Taylor Swift songs. So, Laura, she's there. She's in it. She's had it.
Because he just threw the plate of food at her.
All she did was try to feed him, and he's like, this is garbage. And she's like, I'll show you garbage. And she gets the job done. She beats this man to death with her bare hands.
Oh my God.
And then she figures out she's going to have to, like, find what the next steps are. So she grabs a sickle. You know what a sickle is.
A sickle, I'm trying to think. What is a sickle?
It's sort of like a scythe. It's a curved blade.
Oh, yeah.
But not really that sharp. It's mostly for just, like, cutting down.
Yeah.
Anyway, she has one handy, and that's what she grabs. And she uses it to break as many bones as she can.
Oh my God.
Then she grabs a handsaw.
Oh my God.
And she uses that to cut up the rest of the body.
Oh my God.
She discards with part of it in the yard, but she mostly just kind of cuts stuff down, and she burns the body off in the coal stove that she has in her kitchen, and then like the wood burning stove that she has in another room of the house to keep everything warm.
Oh my God.
So in a lot of stories, this is where it would end.
Right.
You're like, all right. Well,
yeah, okay. She killed him because she got mad. Got it.
Nobody knew.
All right.
Who knows where he went? But not this one, because if it did, we wouldn't have a podcast. So, we're going to move to January 6th. Not that January 6th. Also, everyone check your voter registration right now. But January 6th, 1947. The postman comes by. And, hilariously, his name is C.J. Butcher.
Oh, God.
He's like, hey, I'm used to seeing Tom, out and about when I go for my weekly run. And I haven't seen him for a couple of weeks.
Oh.
Is he okay? What do you think?
I don't know. What is your excuse?
He's fine.
He's fine.
Laura is more than happy to give him information. Almost too happy. Like, Janet, have you... You know how some people are just... They go too far and they're terrible liars?
Yes.
Like, oh, it's great. Laura is the one that does too much.
Oh, no.
That's our girl. So she says, oh my gosh, yes, that's great. It's glad that you asked. Thomas, he's visiting family in Philadelphia. In fact,
oh.
she actually has a letter that she just got.
Oh my God.
From his family in Philadelphia, and she's really anxious to show it to Butcher, the mailman. So she does. And with his excellent deductive reasoning skills, he finds out the following. Number one, oh, I've got this letter from his sister. The one person that you probably don't want to, give that to is the mailman.
Oh, yeah. No kidding.
Because who brought that to you?
The mailman.
He didn't deliver this. This is a small town. Oh, yeah. That other guy that doesn't exist brought me this. Second of all, mailman Butcher notices that the word Philadelphia is spelled wrong. Now, granted, if you were to put either one of us in a spelling bee, there's at least maybe a 20% chance that we might get Philadelphia.
Wrong.
But we don't live there. The sister-in-law does. So why in the world would you not know? I wouldn't misspell St. Louis. So, weird of you, you live there. Number 3. There isn't any stamp.
Oh. He's deducting real fast here.
On this envelope, so, there's no...
Yeah.
People, the post office isn't doing things out of the goodness of their heart. And the postmark?
Yeah.
Janet?
Is it non-existent?
No.
Is it really old?
No, Janet.
What is it?
It's hand-drawn. by hand.
Oh my God.
And the postal worker, being a postal worker, knows that it is. Now, this is prior to Louis DeJoy, so the carrier does sense something fishing.
Yes.
And they're like, something's weird is going on.
Right.
So he goes to the police. And the police all go back to the house, where Laura is still cooking down remains of her husband. The letter they finally open, and his sister-in-law in Philadelphia, or Philadelphia, wherever it is, says that Thomas died while he was visiting from a brief and sudden illness, and that according to his wishes, he has been cremated. Now, they are threatening Laura, and they're like, hey, about this.
Right.
And she's like, oh, he's always threatened to kill me. She is completely cordial and completely unemotional. She gives all of the details of the murder, like, oh yeah, I choked him to death, and then I did this, and then I did that, the dismemberment, the cover-up, all of that. She spills all the tea. And then she, in all seriousness, looks at the police and says, may I go home now? And they were like,
no.
Turns out you can't. And so they go to take her fingerprints. And she's like, oh, please be gentle. Don't push too hard when you're pushing my fingers into the... I'm sorry, I have the hiccups now.
You're fine.
Please don't push too hard into the ink.
No.
And my gosh, I'm so sorry. And then she also says that she's worried that the ink is going to dirty her hands.
Oh my God.
Now, she just beat a man to death.
Her hands are broken, I bet.
Oh no, I'm not real. But she is just like, oh, I don't love it. She also is worried about being photographed. She makes them let her put her hairnet back on.
Oh my God.
Because she's like, oh, my hair is a mess. And so she can't be photographed. So they put her in Licking County Jail while she waits on trial. And these details are in the other part of my story. So what I am going to show you right now is that, when they do first bring her in and she has beaten her husband to death and she's worried about her fingers and her hair and all of that, have you ever just seen somebody that is completely over the edge?
Yes.
This is not a long story, but I had to do it when I saw this.
Okay, I'm ready.
Oh, this mugshot. Are you?
I don't know. Am I?
So somebody who is just like, I've done it.
Yeah.
She's 72. Imagine what you have to look like if you're 72 and you've just beat this man to death.
I can't even imagine.
You ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready. Oh, dear God. She looks like...
Go on.
I don't know. She looks slightly vampire-ish to me for some reason. Maybe it's
There's a little Nosferatu going on.
Yeah, there is a little Nosferatu happening here. Oh, wow. Yeah, she has dark hair, her eyes clear. I mean, she's old. She's got bags.
She's 72.
Yeah, and her eyes are pretty big. And oh my God.
Like I said, this was when I saw this photo. I was like, we have to do this story because We are all like these days. We are all Laura Devlin. So they do. They put her in the Licking County Jail while she's waiting on trial, and the details are the other part of the story. She is known by now as the handsaw slayer.
Oh my God.
So we are going to, and then oh gosh, you can see her too in the courtroom.
Oh yeah.
She looks like Granny Clampett. Kind of a little bit, right? From the Beverly Hillbillies?
Right.
So she goes to the Licking County Jail while she is working on, like, going through, like, what are we going to do with you?
Right,
Where
exactly.
are we going to put you? Licking County Jail is built by architect Joseph Yost.
Okay.
It is completed in 1899.
Okay.
Originally, men are on the lower floors, and women are on the upper floors.
Right.
But there are cracks in the floor.
Oh.
So women, I don't know if you have ever listened to, there's a great podcast called Ear Hustle
Okay.
that's all about people in prison.
Okay.
And one thing that they say is like, oh, catch a kite. So when you're in prison and you don't have any kind of connection with anyone else, if you, like, there are cracks in the holes in the floor. And so the female prisoners, they are writing notes on paper and then, like, attaching them to a piece of string and dropping it.
Oh, okay.
And they call it catching a kite.
Ah.
And so, yeah, so they are, the women and the men are found in a way to kind of talk to each other through cracks in the floors. There are also a lot of records that are stored there. The Licking County Jail is supposed to be super, super haunted.
Ah, gotcha.
I listened to, there wasn't much about Devlin there, but I did listen to a lot of other ghost stories there. You can still do ghost tours there.
Nice.
Super haunted. Apparently, that's one of the only things that ghost adventurers bailed on because Zach Baggins got scared. And you know me, you know that, like, he's a piece of shit. I don't like him. He's not a good man. Anywho, lots of jailbreaks, lots of abuse. Now, Licking County Jail, the cells, they're 8 foot by 8 foot.
Ooh.
So about as wide, maybe, as this room is.
Yeah.
Maybe not quite. And then, like...
Yeah. 8 by 8. Got it.
So small. And those cells were for 6 men.
Oh, my God.
So, double bunks. And so you have 4 people sleeping in the bunk. And then the remaining 2 people have to sleep underneath the bunk on the floor.
Oh my God.
And it's so crowded that they can't even roll over. It's awful. So Laura Devlin, she's there for a little while. And then after a little bit, like once she finally gets her, she is determined guilty, but by reason of senile dementia.
Oh, got it.
It's one of the first times that it's just like, okay, she's
not going to do anything else.
She's old.
Yes.
She's not mentally healthy.
Right.
And so she's kind of, she did it. But she also wasn't in her right mind.
Right.
So she's transferred to the Lima State Hospital for the criminally insane. 1 week later, March 24th, 1947, she succumbs to pneumonia.
Oh.
And so she ends up, she passes away and is buried. And the jail finally closes in 1987 after 90 odd years.
Oh, wow.
And so that is the story of the
That's so
handsaw-
crazy. Oh, my God.
the hacksaw murderer,
Oh, no.
Laura Devlin. And like I said, I chose it only for that.
Because of the picture?
Oh my gosh. Like, look, we could all be pushed that far.
Right.
We could all be pushed that far.
Right.
And so, yes, a short one.
That's a good story. I like it. It's crazy. Crazy. So I have a story.
Yeah, yes.
We're going back to Missouri.
Oh, yeah.
So, have you heard of the DeCloud family?
No.
You know, I personally like watching and listening to things about cults because they are super interesting. Brainwashing is really
Who gets there? How do you get there?
Exactly. So, we're going to talk about a cult that happened in good old Missouri.
The DeCloud?
DeCloud.
That name sounds vaguely familiar. Maybe as we carry on,
we'll
might
see.
get there. We'll see.
Okay, so I found this other story and it didn't have a ton in it, but this was way better, and it happens in Missouri, and also the fact it was an Unsolved Mysteries because you know how much I love those, right?
Right, completely.
And it was solved.
That is the best part. Like, oh man, that's my thing. Like, when we are studying shows, I can't do one when there's no answer. I simply can't.
So we're gonna go back to we're gonna start in 1968, but it didn't happen. So 1968, a Southern Baptist preacher by the name of Forrest DeCloud, he
Wait, did he have a hold up?
Wait, it's not really necessarily about him. Give me a moment.
Oh.
He started a family called the DeCloud Family in Kansas City, Missouri. Mm-hmm. He started to get followers. He had his son by the name of Nelson DeCloud, and Forrest's son was an ex-police officer from Raytown, Missouri. His name was Nelson, and in 1988, Forrest decided to hand off the family to the new spiritual leader, Nelson, his son, in 1988, just prior to Forrest's death. At that time, there were about 30 members, okay? Men, women, and children. Nelson decided to move these 30 members to an isolated farm in Liberty, Missouri.
Okay, like you do.
Right. When he moved these people with him, he encouraged the members to change their last name to DeCloud, which means of the clouds.
De La Soul means from La Soul.
He thought he was the Son of God, but he wasn't actually Jesus. The family was not allowed to venture off the property. They held their own church services on the property. Nelson, he was a temperamental person and he was very strict. The children they attended school on the compound. They learned math, English, and science.
Oh, gosh.
Apparently, he was known to kidnap members, to make them members, and he engaged in sexual activities with the members. Yeah, he's great. He's a great leader.
Can we just back that up 30 seconds? So he picks the members?
Well, I think he had followers that already followed him, but every once in a while, they might get a new member from kidnapping. I could not find... I struggled with this story. I had a really, really hard time trying to find much information about this cult. I have a feeling they probably still exist, and that's why I cannot find the information.
Oh, icky.
Yeah, I know.
And so, he's got problems. And then he also, like, sometimes he needs to sleep with someone.
Yes. So we're going to talk about one of his members. Julie Cooper. At the age of 6, her family decided to join the DeCloud family. At the age of 10, she was forced to watch Nelson, the leader, have sex with another member.
No!
And then afterwards, he asked her, will you please have sex with me? She declined. She's like, no, I don't want to do that. And so what he did is he took her out to a field that was nearby with no warm clothes. Like, she was wearing clothes, but, like, it was cold. This is Missouri.
No.
And he just left her out there to think about it for, like, 8 hours.
Just freeze for a while?
Yeah. So when he
went... No.
So when he brings her back, then one of the other family members called him out on it. I was like, you can't do that with her. She's a kid. What are you doing?
She's 10.
Exactly. So what does he do? He ends up, like, cutting off this woman's hair for even speaking up for her. You know, so...
Oh, yuck.
Yeah,
yuck.
I know.
I don't like it.
I know. Nelson proceeded to humiliate the member by cutting off the hair, and then Julie was just freaking scared at this point. So, of course, he ends up sleeping with her.
Oh, good.
It's just awful.
I'm sorry, he didn't end up sleeping with
her. No, I know.
He raped her.
Exactly. So, and this happened for years. He called her his sleeping partner.
Barf! Oh my God, that's so...
God! I know.
Please tell me this piece of shit ends up dead.
We'll get there. At the age of 15, she tries to run away. She's like, I am done with this place. I gotta get out of here. And of course, when she tries to run away, the whole, like, the men from the Nelson family and him, they end up finding her and they drive her back to the...
No!
When they return for trying to escape, Nelson, in front of the whole family, has her remove her clothes, burn them, and then he beats her with a switch. So she is no longer allowed to get out of his sight at this point.
Oh, wow.
So some more years pass. Thankfully, not a whole lot.
I don't like that.
I know. It gets better, I promise.
Okay.
In 1992, Nelson, who, clearly is, Julie is trying to do the best she can in her situation. Nelson says, hey, they have this is back in 92 when people had satellite TV. And he's like, can you call the satellite repair company because we need our satellite repaired for the compound. And so she ends up contacting this man from the repair company named Tim Santee. And for a few weeks, she had, for some reason, they keep having to have these phone conversations. And, this becomes her friend. Someone from the outside.
The only person that you've...
Yes. It's the first contact to the outside since she was 6. And so finally, when Tim shows up a few weeks later to, fix their satellite, he notices, he's like, yeah, I noticed there was cars and a bunch of kids. He's like, I thought there was a party going on. He's like, I honestly had no idea. And then Nelson takes him into the office. And he immediately recognizes Julie from her voice because he's been talking to her on and off for a few weeks now. And he's like, when she was on the phone, she was always more, fun and easy to talk to. But when I got there, she was clearly more submissive.
Oh.
And he's like, something's going on that's not right in this situation. So he ends up doing that and, fixing on the satellite. And he's like, because they've been developed this relationship over the phone, he really kind of wants to ask her out on a date. He still has no idea because she has not told him what's going on. And he says, then one night he's in bed. It's after midnight and his phone rings and it's her. And she's like, okay, I can sneak out for a date, but I'm going to have to sneak out. And he's like, okay.
Oh, gosh.
So they decide to meet at 1:15 in the morning.
Oh, honey, take her and do not ever bring her back.
So he drives there in his pickup truck, and when he sees her, she's hiding behind some bushes. And she runs over. She's got a trash bag, and it's all over her clothes. She throws the trash bag in the truck. She's like, gotta get out of here. We gotta go. And he's like, I don't know. She seemed really nervous, so we left.
Oh, Tim, do the right thing,
yes.
Please, Tim.
So after the next morning, Nelson and the family realize, because there's not that many members, there's only 30 of them, remember, she's not there. And they're like...
she was also, like, clutch. Like, she was...
Yeah, she's getting out. So the Nelson and some of the guys masquerade as policemen.
No.
They show up at Tim's brother's house. His brother lives next door. They demand to know where Tim is, and his brother's like, no, I'm not going to tell you where he is. I don't even know who you are. You need to get out of my house. You're not cops. Get out.
Oh, gosh.
So Tim and Julie were sound asleep in Tim's house next door.
Good for it. Oh, gosh.
So the next day...
That's probably the best night's sleep she's had in forever.
Exactly. So the next morning, Julie and Tim go over to Tim's brother's house. They all sit down, and they're like... And Tim's brother is like, what is going on? Why did these people in suits acting like they were police showed up? And he's like... And then Julie just finally tells them the whole thing. She's like, listen, I've been abused. I've been raped. I've been stuck in this... My family moved there when I was like 6... and so the brothers decide, well, you need to get a restraining order. So none of those people can bother you because she's of age. And so they end up going to the police station and they start getting the restraining order. And then she starts to talk to Detective Wayne Wiersma. He's with Clay County, which is the county they're in. And Dwayne has already been suspecting there's something fishy going on at that property out there. And now here's his proof, Julie. So he gets all the information, and when Nelson and the family start to realize, oh crap, they're going to come after us. Nelson sends all the women and children on one bus. And then a week later, he sends all the men on another bus. And they go missing. So this happened in, what, did I say 91? Yeah, I think it was 91. So Nelson has been... Oh, no. They go missing in 92. So since September of 1992, Nelson and the family, they're just missing. They have no idea where these people are. May 5th, 1993. Unsolved Mysteries with Robert Stack airs. Stack! And the story, it just really revolves around Julie. She's like, I'm concerned for my parents because they're still there. He could be, doing stuff to them because I've run away. She is really, really concerned. And so once this airs, basically the cops are after Nelson for forcible rape and sodomy.
Oh, no.
So he's got a warrant out on his arrest, And after it aired, several viewers reported seeing DeCloud's wife in San Angelo, Texas.
Oh, it's always Texas.
It's always yes. When the state and local agents approached this house that they've been living in, the whole family's been living in a farmhouse in this little town. Nelson kicks out the upper bedroom screen to try to escape. When the cops come after him, he tries to wrestle them.
Let's go, girls.
Right. And so there's a brief struggle, and then eventually they arrest him. When Nelson is arrested, they put him in the local jail, and then they extradite him back to Liberty, Missouri to start trial. At the time, several other members at this point have come forward.
Oh, no.
So she's not the only one who's like, he's a terrible person. Other members are like, no, he's a terrible person. So in September of 1994, Nelson is convicted of he had 4 counts of criminal charges against him. He is sentenced to 220 years in prison.
That's a lot.
So he's 53 at this point. He never appealed.
Mm-hmm.
And then he ended up dying of natural causes on April 4th of 2014 in his prison cell at the Southeast Correctional Center in Missouri at the age of 73. Now, here's a fun thing. When we were watching this, when I was watching this thing on Unsolved Mysteries, her and Tim were engaged at that point. Because she ended up becoming engaged with the person that saved her.
So gross.
I don't think anything happened after that, but there is like she was just so happy just to be saved.
You caught me.
Yeah, and then I have a picture of it. It's pretty interesting here. Here we go. Screenshots. No, stop. This way. Here we go. Oh, no, stop it. There we go. That's the guy who saved her. That's the one who took off with her. And
they have the most 80s
shirts ever. Exactly. So, now that's not the total end of the story. When he was in jail, apparently he continued to run, because that's what cult leaders do. For some reason, they allow them to have phones so they can contact their cult still. So he is still like sending them letters, you know, and then recently, it just came out like a few years ago, he had 2 children. One is a transgender that goes by Yahya, now his son. Apparently, Yahya and his daughter ended up both running away from the cult with the $40 they saved in allowance in 2000.
Oh my God.
So they escaped it as well.
With nothing.
Yeah, they escaped it as well. But like I said, I tried everywhere to find more information about this cult.
I know, yeah, same with mine. I was just like, okay, well,
it's just like there wasn't a lot of information out there about him. So I don't know if the cult still exists. I mean, he did die. He died in 2014, but that doesn't mean anything. I mean, cult leaders, they just come up with new cult leaders.
Right, somebody else. It could be a son, or it could be, like, probably a son, because...
Yeah.
God knows we don't want to put women in charge.
Right. So, yeah, that's what happened. Just crazy. But she apparently is fine and all is well. And we just don't know about the rest of the cult members. But, that guy got put in jail for real. Woof. And he was never going to get out. But he was only in there. He died natural causes in his jail cell. So that's my story. Yeah, I know.
Well, we both had cheery ones this week, didn't we?
Oh, yeah. So I think this is where we should take a break.
This is where we take a break. I am going to take Janet out back and throw dinner plates at her until she does what needs to be done. And then I guess we'll be back with What's Nice.
We'll be back with What's Nice.
If you like getting muddy with us, here are some ways that you can help support the podcast. Email us at bigmuddymayhem@gmail.com. Like and subscribe to the podcast on the platform where you're listening. And please, honestly, reviews. This is what helps us. And this is what helps us get new listeners. So please, a good review. Help us reach some new people. If you are listening on YouTube, leave a comment in the comment sections. Join our Facebook group where we can talk about the episodes and hear your suggestions. And of course, please also tell your friends.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
And now it's time for What's Nice.
We're talking about What's Nice. And so I am in Newark, Ohio.
Okay.
And so I am talking about the Longaberger Basket building. Janet,
yes.
Do you know anything about the Longaberger?
Maybe the word sounds familiar. I don't know. Enlighten me.
Okay, so Longaberger baskets are a big, huge thing. I I want to take you back to the middle of the 1990s.
Okay.
Beanie Babies.
Oh, yeah.
Boyd's Bears.
Yeah.
All of that stuff. And then longer burger baskets were kind of part of that.
Okay.
They are...
Oh,
you know,
those,
like your mother, your aunt, somebody you know had that.
Right.
And they were like stair baskets,
Right.
chair, or hand woven baskets.
Gotcha.
And the Longaberger headquarters was in Ohio, in Newark, Ohio. And so they had one giant building.
And it looks like a basket.
That's like 7 feet tall.
So you mean 7 stories?
Or 7 stories tall.
Yeah,
rather.
oh my God.
Yeah. So anyway, that is the big basket building.
That is amazing looking.
Everybody loves them. Now, that being said, the Longaberger basket, they were like, okay, well, we're going to do this. And when the basket company went tits up, they were like, oh, okay, we're going to do it, and we're going to push like a 7-story hotel.
Oh, okay.
And that's kind of where they've been. And they haven't gotten all the way there.
Okay.
But that being said, like, it's kind of cute.
It is.
It is.
I would love to see that building in
A
person.
basket-shaped building after an uncertain future after the company's bankruptcy.
Oh my God.
And so that is where they are. It does look...
Oh, no, yeah.
like a giant...
It looks like a giant basket with handles.
reed basket. And an elevator, and it's 7 floors tall. And so...
Oh my God, wow.
You can see in the middle, they've got, like, these cute little...
stairs and stuff.
And everything is adorable.
That is really neat.
And 555 spaces in the parking lot. You can't hate that.
No,
you really can't do it.
No.
So as of 2020,
Okay.
they were looking at that and they were like, all right, this is fine.
Right.
This is what we're going to do. So I know that is really small.
But it's still a neat building.
But it is still, man, I'd go sleep in a Longaberger building.
Yeah, of course. Awesome.
And that is my very, very short What's Nice.
Nice. Well, I have a What's Nice. It's not super long either, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Liberty, Missouri is clearly not a very big town. But there is a thing there. The Jesse James Bank Museum.
Hello! I love Jesse James.
So the Jesse James Bank Museum is located in the historic square in Liberty, Missouri. Mm-hmm. It was the site of the nation's first successful daylight peacetime bank robbery. Why are you putting all these words together? People were still freaked out when he came in and robbed them, but whatever. While the robbers were never caught, the crime was attributed to the infamous James Gang. Visitors will see the bank as it was in 1866. So it was a cold and snowy February afternoon when a group of horsemen rode into Liberty, Missouri. After a short time, gunshots broke the winter silence as the men rode off with their loot, leaving one young college student dead and the town in shock. That does not sound peaceful. Period furnishings filled the room and one becomes immersed in the story of the robbery as told by the bank teller. So there's a bank teller who tells you the story. I love that. As you peer into the original green vault, you can imagine the fear felt by the poor, distraught banker and his son, a consequence of the robbery. Among the furnishings, a rare Seth Thomas clock, one of only 2 known to exist, hangs on the wall for the exact time and date of the robbery, February 13th, 1866. Many photographs and other documents are on display.
Did you know that Kara is a relative of the Jesse James gang?
No, I did not.
And, well, the only reason I know that is because I'm a relative of the Dalton gang.
All right.
One of these days, I'm going to do that.
That would be fun.
My grandmother's maiden name was Dalton.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. So, yeah, this, I'm trying to show you some pictures here.
Okay.
Let's see.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, so like
that's the building.
Oh, wow. So pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And where is this?
It's in Liberty, Missouri.
In Liberty.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh.
Exactly. And then
It has that kind of like on the town square.
Right. It is. Yeah, it's definitely on the town square. And there's the inside.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. The big arched windows and.
Yep. And then there's another picture where you can kind of see. Yep. So it's just, old teller stuff with the...
Sit down, John. Sit down, John.
So that's my what's nice.
Woof.
So I think this is where we come to the end.
This is kind of where we come to the end.
Yeah, and hopefully our stories won't be as depressing next week. But, it is true crime. What do you want?
You know what? It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. So we want to remind everyone
of one new thing.
Is it new?
It's new for now. All
yes.
Right. Anyway, the one thing that we do want to tell you is that no matter what, and boy, the world is crazy right now.
Yes.
We all have to kind of figure out what is like best for us to do.
Mm-hmm.
And as we muddle through it together and try to be kind to one another, what we really hope for is that we will collectively stay Midwest nice.
Stay Midwest nice.